Right now, El Paso is frozen. Buyers are scared to buy, sellers are scared to sell, and just about everybody is waiting on the same thing for interest rates to drop and rescue them. But I'm here to tell you that rescue's not coming. And that is the best news you've heard all year if you know what to do with it. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why 6.6% interest rates are actually a gift, why the smartest move in this market is the one almost nobody's making right now, and exactly what to do about it, whether you're on the fence for buying or selling. I've closed over 50 homes in El Paso in the past 3 years. This isn't a guess, it's what the numbers are showing me right now. Let's get into it. Before we talk about a single house, you need to understand one thing: interest rates, because interest rates control everything: your mortgage, your savings, the whole economy. Here's the part nobody explains. When interest rates are low, that's great news if you want to borrow money. Cheap mortgage, cheap loans. But it's a punishment if you're a saver because your savings earn less than inflation eats. Low rates reward the borrower and punish the saver. Hold on to that. Now watch how we got here. So look at the board. So let's go way back to 2020. The pandemic hits, the Federal Reserve slams rates down to basically zero to stimulate the economy. So cheap money everywhere, interest rates down. Then in 2022, all that cheap money catches up with us. Inflation goes through the roof. So in 2022, those rates go back up again. And hard. Highest we'd seen in about 20 years. Then in 2024 to 2025, it flips again. Trump's in the White House promising low rates. Rates ease back down again. Now, where we're at now in 2026, here we are. And the Federal Reserve is hinting the opposite of what everybody wants. Higher for longer. We might even see rates go up this year. So interest rates right now, they may hold steady or they might go up. And we'll get into that later in the video. So look at the board, down, up, down, and now maybe up again. That last turn is the whole story, because this time high rates are about to do something to the housing market that nobody in this city is talking about. Let me show you where rates actually are right now. And there it is. 30-year fixed 6.6%, not going to 5, not going to 4, 6.6. And everyone that reads you that number like it's the weather, I'm going to show you what's behind it. But first, look at what high rates have done already. So the reset has begun. Home sales have literally fallen off a cliff. This is from the National Association of Realtors, the realtors' own data. This is how many homes are actually selling in America. Look at it. On free money, sales rocketed to almost $7 million in a year. Then rates jumped and sales fell off a cliff. I mean, look at this. It just goes straight down from, you see 2020 at the peak, it's all the way down for 2026 to about 4 million. That's below where we were before COVID even hit. Nobody's buying because you can't pay 6.6% on a fantasy price. The market didn't crash, it froze. And a frozen market is exactly what starts to crack overpriced homes. Watch how bad the squeeze really is. So now we literally get into the affordability squeeze. Homes versus paychecks versus the real cost. The top line here is the median home price. The bottom line is what people actually earn. Look how they start close together and then watch the home price just take off. That's the red gap. That's the problem in one picture. Homes pulled away from paychecks. I mean, just look at this. The gap is pretty narrow here. And as we get to today, the median household income is $83,000, but the median home price is $420,000. Now on the middle panel, this is the one economists actually watch. The price to income ratio. How many years of your whole income to buy the median house? So around 3 is healthy. Near 5 is bubble territory. So here's 3, here's 5, there's the bubble territory. So if we look at 2005, it spikes to 5 right before the last crash. Now look at today, right back at 5. Here we are. We are as stretched as we were the moment before 2008. But here's the one that ends the argument. This bottom line is what actually costs to make the payment on a medium home. Price and rate combined into one number. Back in 2020, even with high prices, it took just 20% of your income. You can see that right here. Because money was practically free, right? Cheap money. Today, 31%, above the line where you are officially. Cost burdened and the worst since 1990, because now you're paying bubble prices and expensive money at the same time. So which one is the villain here? The price or the rate? Let me prove it to you with 130 years of data. So home prices are the problem, not the interest rates. People love to blame the rate. So let's settle it. 130 years since 1890. You can see down here, there's 1890. On this top panel, real home prices adjusted for inflations, apples to apples. Look how flat it is. So just follow this 130-year normal. For almost 100 years, prices tracked that normal line. Then moonshot right here. Boom. Right now, we're about 90% above the long-run normal, and we are higher than the 2006 bubble. Here's the 2006 bubble. We're higher than that right now. The bubble that caused the last crash, we blew past it. Now the bottom panel. The mortgage rate over the same 130 years. You see the spike? 1981, it was 16.6%. That was a rate problem. Where are we today? 6.6. Sitting right around 130-year average interest rates. Rates aren't high by history. They're average. We just got spoiled by 3% in 2021, and now normal feels like a crime. So put it together. Rates, average. Prices, all-time high. Blown past the bubble high. The problem was never the rate, it's the price. And price 90% above normal does not stay there forever. Now the question everybody's asking, if prices are this stretched, won't the Federal Reserve just cut rates and save everybody? Here's the answer. Well, the new sheriff is at the Federal Reserve. Jerome Powell, his term as the Fed chair is over. The new guy running the Federal Reserve is named Kevin Warsh. And read what he's saying. The Fed just held rates, and some of them are hinting the next move might be a hike up, not down. Warsh went in front of Congress and said he has no tolerance for high inflation. Translate that. He's not cutting rates to make it easier for you to buy a house. The old play, cut rates, juice the market, everybody parties, the play is dead. Now, could Warsh be wrong? Absolutely. He could make the wrong call. But that's my read, not a guarantee. But everything he's telling us says high rates are here to stay a while. And there's one more thing tying his hands. Why rates can't drop. The war. The Iran war. Watch this. A peace deal got signed in June. Oil dropped. Inflation actually cooled off. For a second, everybody relaxed. Then the deal fell apart. And oil shot from under $70 to over 85 in a week. Oil goes up, gas goes up, shipping goes up, everything goes up. That's inflation. And Warsh already told you, no tolerance for inflation. So connect it. War lights up oil lights up inflation, Warsh keeps rates high, that's the chain. That's why your mortgage isn't dropping. Nobody's drawing that line for you but me. So look at this. A record share of sellers across the country are cutting their prices. Record. Because buyers can't pay 6.6 on a fantasy number. So sellers are blinking first. This is exactly what high rates are supposed to do. Squeeze the fake prices out. That's the country. Now let me bring it home because this is where we live and I work, and this is where it gets good for you. Well, here's what the national panic guys don't understand about El Paso. We're steady. We didn't balloon like Austin or Phoenix, so we're not going to crater like them either. Median home prices around $250,000, selling near asking, Fort Bliss keeping this town solid. That's your edge. This is a safe place to make a move while the rest of the country is scared of a crash that probably isn't coming here. But the market is a lie. There's no such thing as the El Paso market. I can tell you which zip codes are holding and which ones are bleeding right now. Some needing up to 20% price cuts just to sell. That's the difference between me and the guy reading you a headline. Sellers, listen. Yeah, it's slow. The average home's taking around 86 days on market to sell or to get on contract. Everybody else is sitting on the sidelines waiting for rates to drop. That's your opening. List now while you've got almost no competition, because the day rates finally drop, every seller who waited floods the market all at once, supply explodes, and you're just one house in a crowd. Sell into the quiet, not the stampede. If you don't have to move, sure, you can gamble on waiting, but if you want a sale locked in, this is your window. Buyers, same coin, other side. Houses are sitting. That's leverage you've never had, and you do not want to wait for a lower rate. Marry the house, date the rate. Buy the house now at a soft price, and if rates ever drop, you can refinance. You can't refinance the purchase price. Now let me show you exactly how a real estate agent buys in this market. Here's how I buy for my clients. I pull up the data, and I look where prices are headed, not just where they are. Say a house is listed at $350,000, and I already know the real market value today is more like $330,000. So it's 20 grand overpriced, like half of them are. Now the data I track says the zip is projected to soften a few more percentage over the next year. So we don't offer $350,000. We don't even offer $330,000 by the projected drop, and we get ahead of it. So it's not lowballing, it's just math. Any listing agent has to respect a number built on real value plus a real forecast. That's how you buy smart while everybody else is overpaying or sitting frozen. So here's the whole thing tied together. The part nobody else will say out loud. High rates aren't the enemy. They're the reset. Rates are normal. It's the prices that are insane. 90% above where they've sat for 130 years. Sellers who list now sell into the quiet before the flood. Buyers who move now buy the soft price before the stampede. Both sides win by acting while everybody else is sitting on the sidelines frozen and scared. Now, am I sure Warsh holds the line? No. He could blink, this is my read, but it's red built on over 50 closings, a war, a new Federal Reserve chair, and zip codes I watch every single week. That's more than the others are giving you. If you're buying or selling in El Paso and you want an agent who reads the board instead of the headline, that's us. Cielo Vista Realty Group, powered by JPAR. Like it, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.